Hey everybody, it's Carol with O'Brien Custom Turning. It's been a little while since we had a time where we sat down and painted and chat together. I had several days where I ended up with a cold and couldn't talk at all. And then we were really fighting and trying to work on what we could do about the magnifying glass issue. So I think we might have solved it. We're just going to do a really short session today to see if this actually does work like I hope it did. Sean built me a little stand. I'll show that to you sometime. I can't do it today because I'm using it right now. But hopefully that works a little bit better and you can actually see my workspace and what I'm doing. So this is what I'm working on. I'm working on Bamboo Dreams from Diamond Art Club by Abraham Hunter. This one is a gift for Caitlin. I'm probably not going to get it finished in time for Christmas because Christmas is our busy season, of course. So we've been crazy busy working on trying to get as many orders out as we could. So we'll see. I am to right here. So I've got just this little tiny bit left. And then when I finish that, I want to go to the panel 5 of the Seascape. And I actually am kind of excited to start working on that, which is kind of funny because it's been a challenge and a half working on that painting. So we'll see what happens and how long I tolerate it. This is my usual go-to pen of choice that I start with. I change out pens probably 3 to 5 times as I'm painting each time. Depends how my hand feels. This is one that Caitlin made for me. It's a little bit shorter than a standard pen. These are both standard 5-inch long body pens. And see, this one's a little bit shorter. Not a lot, just a tiny little bit, but it allows me to work under my magnifier. And I have to have that because my vision is so poor, even with my glasses. So this allows me to work under it without hitting it as often. So that's my go-to to start with. When I'm working, I tend to work in little bitty sections, and then I do the same color within that section. So for right now, I'm right here, is as far as I've made. I do all of mine also using little storage containers, so you'll see that. And my boat has release paper taped on the back, so I can actually set it down on my sticky part and it doesn't stick because it's got release paper taped on the back. So you'll see that. Notice as you're looking at my actual workspace, my lines are not nice and neat and pretty and perfect. And that's okay because when they go up on my wall in a frame, you've seen my collection and all of my paintings and things. And when they're up on my walls, they are nice and pretty and they look fabulous because diamond paintings aren't made to look at up close and analyze and study. They're meant to look at from a distance. So the fact that my vision doesn't let me get them lined up nice and neat and straight, it doesn't even matter. So I'm just going to ask you to overlook that, and there's no need to send me comments telling me that my lines aren't straight because I'm aware of that, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just thankful that I can work and make it happen anyways. So I am working on letter H. H is 3810, and I tend to just dump out a little bit in my boat, and I leave my little container out beside me. That way I know what color I have so that I can put it back inside. If I were to put this back inside, even though I literally just did H's, I would end up sitting here going, what color is in that boat? Which sounds really foolish and stupid, but that is a truism. So I leave the color sitting out beside me until I'm finished with it. So I need to move my magnifier just a tiny little bit so I can see what I'm doing. So that's one of the things we're testing today, that hopefully it stayed out of my way, or out of your way, that you can still see without that blinding you really bad. And so what I'm doing, I started at the top left corner. This square here is what I'm working today, going as far as approximately right here. And I'm going to do all of the H's first in that square. And then I'll go back up to the top, and the next thing is a 2, and I'll do all the 2s. And then I'll go back to the top left-hand corner and grab whatever the next one is. So I will just sit here and pop on all of the H's I can find. There's, of course, lots of different methods for diamond painting. Some people like to rip off the plastic at the beginning and do all of one color to start with. And they'll do like, you know, color number 1. My legend over here tells me all of them in order. I like to use my paper, but they would look at like color number 1 is number 126. So they would go through and they would do all of the number 1s on their canvas to start with. When I have a painting that is a bigger size painting like this one is, I cannot manage it that way. I would miss too many and would just find that to be too frustrating. So I do better when I work in little sections. You'll find when I do a small painting, gosh, can't even talk today. When I do a small painting, sometimes you will find me do it that way, especially if it's one of the special shape paintings that has the different shapes. I will do those one color at a time and take the top cover off. But that's just the small paintings, and I can manage those. But when it's a big one like these, I just can't handle that. You also will see as I do different size paintings, some of them I work on the side. And that's because I share this table with Caitlin. This is our dining room table, but we do not use it for eating. We just eat in the living room, sitting on our couches. In our family, dinner time is a family meal, and we sit down together every evening and we eat dinner as a family, but we do sitting on the couch because this table is used for shipping and receiving. So Caitlin shares the table with me, but because of that, I'm limited to the space that I have. So when I'm doing a really big painting, like the Last Supper painting was, I work that one from the side. And then I take my legend key. If like this one, I'm working across the top. So I have my legend this way. If I were going to be working it from the side and going this way, I would simply turn my legend this way. So now my legend key lines up with the same way that I'm working. So I always keep my legend facing the same way that I'm working so that my symbols match up. Another thing that I do specific for my painting that works really well for me, I do not use these numbers here. These numbers are simply telling me how many numbers and colors there are in my kit. So this tells me there's 53 colors in my kit. I don't care about that for any reason. I use the symbols and the DMC codes. So when I go to my next one, I'll look like this was my H's. I'll find the H on my codes, and then I find the DMC that corresponds with that and pull that one out. I don't ever look at what symbol number it is. The reason for me that that works well is because I'm going to save my little code sheets in my symbol containers, and I'm going to use those over and over and over again. And see, like this one, it just says 3810 on it. I can use that over and over again for 3810s. Even if the symbol changes, that doesn't matter. Because 3810, every single kit, is this aqua turquoisey blue color. So I don't have to change that. So I don't care what color number it is. I just care that it's 3810. I also don't write the symbol on my container because I don't need to. I already looked and I saw on my legend that this one is H, and I know I'm working with H's. So the only thing I need to have on my container is what the number is. So then I can just very easily find that and follow. Today I'm in long sleeves and I keep sticking to my canvas. Sometimes to prevent that, I have an extra sheet of release paper. Of course, this is the bottom. This is the top part. I saved it from prior. You can use the double-sided papers. Excuse me. You also can use parchment paper, but be very careful you get the right side up. And same as your plastic off of your paintings, those do have a top side and a bottom side. So make sure if you take it completely off, you mark which side is which. But sometimes I will just simply take this and lay it over this side, covering all the sticky part. And that does two things. One, it keeps me from sticking my arm in it, but it also makes sure that when I lay my legend down, I don't put it in the sticky part. I don't know if you noticed earlier, I had just a corner of it sitting there, and had I laid it down a little harder, it would have stuck. So that's a way it keeps me from making a mistake. It's very simple to do, and a lot of women and men have done it. So I sometimes will do that and just put that piece of release paper over top of it to help protect what I'm doing. So tonight, I told you this is going to be a short test video. It's actually for two reasons. One, because it's just a test video. But two, it is a Friday, and Friday night is CAP night. So Caitlin and I will have to be getting ready and leave for CAP tonight. We have Civil Air Patrol on Friday nights. And I did a video about that a while back. So if you want to know more about what the heck Civil Air Patrol even is, or what we do, I have a video about that up that you can watch and see what we'll be doing tonight. But we have to get ready. You'll hear my clock ding every 15 minutes. I have a grandfather clock sitting right behind us, or in front of us. And as you hear that, I've got a couple more dings, but that'll be telling me that, hey, it's getting on time. You better be thinking about getting ready to go. So that's why we'll have to cut this short today. Now, I wish that I could set up a standard time with you and say that, you know, let's meet every Tuesday at a specific time. But unfortunately, our work schedule just simply doesn't allow me to do that, because there's times where I just am really, really, really super busy, and we plan on being done a certain time and it doesn't happen. So as much as I wish I could, I can't. Same as I'm kind of intrigued by the possibility and options of doing a live stream with you. And I think I could manage to have a computer sitting here beside me, and I could occasionally check and keep an eye on comments and such. But again, I'm just worried about how to manage that. You know, how do I manage the whole making sure people know? What if something happens that I can't keep the time commitment is the big concern, because again, my schedule's so crazy busy. What happens if nobody shows up at all? You know, am I crazy even thinking people care what I have to say? So if you have, you know, any ideas for managing things like that, certainly share them with me and tell me down in the comments. Would you be interested in a live stream at all? And, you know, how would we manage that? How do you deal with the things like making sure people know when and where to show up and all of those logistical kind of things? So with that, I have got to tell you what happened this week, because, you know, you can't have a diamond painting night with me without having your giggles and fun moments at my expense, right? So this week's giggles moment is related around videoing. So I have had quite the time this week with editing videos. And it goes back to even before this week. I'm kind of computer challenged, if you didn't know that yet, if I've not shared that with you. And I'm pretty good once I learn something. And once I know how to do it, I can do it. But the initial figuring out is so difficult and complex for me. Well, I'm pretty well trained and learned, you know, back in elementary and middle school and high school to always write things down and double and triple check. And especially in high school, I can remember so very clearly. I was in advanced accounting class my senior year of high school, sitting in accounting class, and in the back of my class was the computer lab. Now remember, this is back in the age of computers were kind of new still, and you know, we were using DOS, and I remember vividly the excitement that day, because this brand new thing came out. And everybody was all agog and abuzz because of Windows. So I remember where I was and what I was doing and the excitement the day that Windows came out. And of course, I remember all of the talk about Windows and would it crash and would it work and make sure you back up all your stuff. And so I remember learning to back up. So one of my habits is every month on the first of the month, I do a 100% complete system backup of everything. My complete system gets an entire backup. Every folder, every piece of software, everything. So that I don't lose anything important other than maybe a month at a time. So we just started doing videos in October. And we were talking about, how are we going to store these, the difference from raw footage and edited, ready to go, and ready to go but not yet uploaded. And, videos can take up a lot of storage space. And we were talking about how we were going to do it, managing different spaces. And we got to November 1st and things were going okay. And we had storage space set up. And we were doing some stuff with some flash keys. And downloaded on November 1st and did my hard backup. I was a very good girl. And it got to be November the 12th. And my computer decided that I had very little storage space left on my computer. Like, teeny tiny amount of storage space left. And I kind of went into a panic. And I'm like, what do you mean I have very little storage space left? This is a brand new computer Sean just built for me within the past little while. I showed it to you all when he built it for me. So we decided we'd go through and we'd see if I could, maybe it just needed to be not backed up. I'd already backed up. It needed to have some files removed and things. So I'm going through all of my and I'm deleting everything I can. I'm deleting old videos and old music files, and I found places that, my computer's double and triple saving stuff. Because it saved all of my videos, but then when I pop it in a video editor, it saved the edited ones and it'd save all the music clips. And so we were using up a whole lot of double and triple space that we really didn't need to. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Oh, hang on, give me a second to fix that. Okay, so I'm deleting and just happily going on about my business, and I clicked a button and the computer asked me, are you really sure you want to do that and delete this? And I'm only kind of half paying attention, and I told it yes, of course I want to do that. And the next thing I know, I had completely deleted and wiped out my whole system, and my desktop was completely blank, and I lost everything, literally. All of my files from November 1st through November the 12th were completely gone. I had lost any videos we had done for those 12 days. I had lost all of my work documents, which, thank goodness, I do things the old-fashioned way, and we do all of our orders on paper. So I kind of went into a panic, and we're like, oh, goodness gracious, what are we going to do now? And we said, oh, wait, Sean has me set up that my computer is mirrored. And it automatically backs up to a hard drive. So we went to pull the mirrored drive, and my mirrored drive hadn't been working since a very long time back in October, because it said there was not enough memory space left, because again, it had been double and triple saving all my videos. So that didn't do me any good. So the very long story short, I had to go back to my November 1st file and reinstall everything from November 1st from my backup, and manually, to the best of my ability, go through everything and try to fix it as best I could. Of course, any video we'd done from November 1st through 12th, we lost, including the ones that were edited and ready to go. So you missed some of them. Sorry about that. So that was my debacle with videos and computers in November. So that tells you how much computers and I love each other and how well we do. So then I am getting ready to work on stuff for this week. And my normal practice is I get up in the morning and start my normal daily stuff whenever I get up. You know, it can be anywhere from 6 to 8 o'clock, depending on how well I slept the night before and such. And then I do my normal, quote, morning routine. And I check if I have any new Etsy orders, and I check PayPal orders from the night before. I check if we have any comments on YouTube that I need to answer, and any of, you know, that's my normal morning routine. And then by 10 o'clock in the morning is when I start polishing for the day. And I polish from 10 to 5. At 5 o'clock is start fixing dinner time. 6 o'clock is dinner. And then after dinner, I try to work on editing videos. And then if I have time, then I do some diamond painting in the evening. And then we head to bed anytime from 9 to 1 or 2 in the morning, depending how I'm feeling. So I was working on doing some videos for showing you all the blank series from Rapture Resins, because I had 5 or 6 of his different series of blanks that I have a whole collection. So I wanted to show you the whole collection up close and personal. So I think there were 7 of them total, 7 different videos. And I spent a good chunk of time, because they're each between 3 and 5 minutes. And you know, you have to set them up and this, that, and the other. So I taped all of those videos back to back to back and didn't think anything of it. I kind of noticed my settings weren't quite right on my phone, but I didn't really notice anything. And I got done with those, and I went to my computer. After the very last one I did was the upload video of all the blanks I'd pulled for Caitlin to do Etsy videos for the week. And when I went to edit that one, realized that I had had the settings of the videos completely wrong, and my camera had cut off at least 50% of the videos on the side. So I could only see half of the screen of what I thought I was showing you. And I still posted the one video because I didn't want to lose that and let you not see those blanks at all. I'd already put the blanks away, so I couldn't redo that particular video. But all of the other 7 for Dan's videos, I had to redo. So it's the next day, and I am redoing the videos, and it's going okay. Things are going well, and I was like, oh, well, these videos are going well, and some of them I even like better than the first ones. And I had an idea. You know, if you know me, those of you who've been with us since day one, 4+ years ago, when I get an idea, it's dangerous time, and, you know, somebody needs to tell me, hey, sometimes that's not a good idea. That's 2 diamonds on top of each other. Sometimes my ideas are just not good ideas, but I don't realize that until after it's too late that they're not good ideas. But I thought it was a good idea. Look at that. That was 2 in a row too. So I'm showing the video for the Thermal Mutations series, and those are the ones that change color with heat. So I thought it'd be a great idea to heat them up and show you what they look like in the heated phase. Well, of course, we don't have a kitchen blowtorch, so I thought it might be a great idea. And I went and I grabbed my fireplace blowtorch. And you know, I'm just going to wisp it across real quick and heat up the blanks. Well, I didn't aim very well, and I did heat up the blanks. But I also, my white cover that I put over top of the orange trays that I use when I do videos, my white cover caught on fire. So I now have a hole in my white cover in one spot because I tried to start, well, I didn't just try to start it on fire. I did start it on fire because of trying to heat up my thermal mutations blanks. So, the good news is I did not set my kitchen on fire. I just set my little display thing on fire. And it was just a tiny little hole. And I was able to put it right out. And the video was okay and such. And I can use the other half of the thing to still use in videos. But that was my experience this week with making videos and having very extreme difficulties with them in setting my camera wrong and then setting my equipment on fire. So hopefully next week when I go to make you some videos, it will be a nice calm week and I will not set my equipment on fire. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. Caitlin tells me some days I should write a book because, you know, the kind of stuff that goes on in my life, yeah, you can't make this kind of stuff up. So if you've been paying attention to what's in my tray here, I've got a whole bunch of them that are stuck together. So I'm going to pull my drill grinder out in just a minute. I got this drill grinder from Jen Archer over at Archer's Arts. They went into business back in June of 2018, right before we did. We went into business on August 1st, and theirs was either June or July. And Jen and I became fast Facebook friends really, really quickly. And that first Christmas, she sent me a grinder as a gift and asked me if I would test a new shape for her because I'd mentioned that I have issues with my hands because of carpal tunnel and the pain with things. And I told her I was having a hard time managing her original grinder because the lid was just too thin. So she sent me one as a gift and asked me if I would test it for her. And she asked me, see if I can do this without spilling my water, to test her new gear grinder. That was the thicker one. So I was one of her testers, actually, on her new gear grinder. Now, excuse me, right now they've closed their business down because they have custody of their 3 grandchildren. So they are raising their granddaughter and then their grandson, the tiny boss, and then their second grandson, the tinier boss. So right now they've had to put a temporary close on their business, and we certainly wish them well with raising those babies. And who knows what the future may bring. So I just put my drills in there and twisted to get them all apart. They stick to my grinder when you twist, so that's why I move them over here on my piece of paper. I don't want to do this on top of my canvas where I'm working, because then when I dump them out, for me, I get them all over. Some of you may be not as clumsy as I am, so you don't make quite the mess. I make quite a mess when I use my grinder. So I get them all over everywhere. That wasn't too bad today, but usually I get them all over everywhere. And it's also time to switch pens because my hand is starting to get a little bit tired. So I'm going to go with this green one. This one's a green and brown. Notice it's pretty similar as far as the shape. It's still the cigar shape, but it's a little bit shorter and it is thinner. So it is definitely changing the shape in my hand for how this one feels. So we'll try it for a little bit and see how it goes. And I am still working on these H's. No, I lied. I am not working on H's. See, remember I told you if I don't leave that out, I'll forget what I'm working on. I am working on straight lines now. I'm on color 3814. And that one did not separate in my grinder. When I have some that stick together, even after being in my grinder, I usually will leave them on my tray and I may put them through my grinder a second time. And if they go through a second time and still stick, then I just put them in my trash bucket. Oh. This pen is going to be a challenge with wax. So I'm going to just use my tweezers and pull my wax out, and that goes in the trash. And this is a macaron that I do not even remember where I got it from. This is not DAC wax. This one is, but I haven't started it yet because I'm finishing up this one. With the stainless steel tips, sometimes I have better luck kind of pushing wax in instead of filling it by pressing. I like to use stainless steel tips instead of the plastic because I'm a really hard presser. And if I use the plastic, sometimes I will break them. So I like to use the stainless steel. They just tend to feel a little sturdier to me. You can see now I'm working over on this side a little bit because I'm working on these little straight lines. So I'm still finishing this same color. Oh, that's a double. Let me put that one in my little tray. I have a plate that Sean made me. He turned this for me out of my favorite colors. But that just is my trash diamonds tray. And after it gets full, or every so often, I dump them all into a jar. And then occasionally he took them and like at Christmas time, he cast them and we made some diamond painting pens out of them. He also took some of them, if you watched his Project Friday video, he made a sphere with a dragon in it. And there were jewels in there. All of the jewels were actually diamond drills. Is where he got the jewels from that the dragon was sitting on. He said he's got another idea, 2 or 3, for a Project Friday tonight. See, the idea with Project Friday is, since Caitlin and I are gone and he's got the run of the house, that's a good time for him to work on projects that he can devote some time to when we're not here. So he can spend Friday nights doing that. Gives him something to do. And then, of course, editing the videos and getting those uploaded. Occasionally, I will have a diamond, like, oh, it's another double. I will have a diamond that will end up falling on a wrong spot. Like that one I just took, this green was laying on top of an R. If I notice it, I'm going to fix it. If I don't notice it at the end of the day, it's truly not going to hurt anything. And nobody will know. Because again, we're looking at these projects from a distance. And nobody's going to notice one diamond in the midst that's the wrong color. Now, certainly, if I drop a red in the middle of these greens, that may look a little funny. So that, yes, I would take that out because it wouldn't look right. But I tend to be very strict to the patterns as far as the way that the artist drew them and the way they were rendered. I tend to stick with that. I haven't gone very far into trying to change a pattern yet. I'm just not quite brave enough. My artistic skill is definitely none. Compared to my husband and my daughter, they both definitely have got artistic skill, and also Patrick does. So you'll get to see that coming up. Patrick works with stained glass. So he's working on making us some pen stand holders that we're going to be using when we do our approval photos. So when we show you our pens and items, he's going to make those for us out of stained glass. So I think that's going to be a very, very pretty way to show our pens off. And he should have those finished coming up pretty soon, so you'll get to see those. But he definitely has some artistic ability, and then his dad works with the 3D printing / modeling, works with dragon spears and dragon's eggs. He used to do a lot of miniature modeling, like cars, and he's not doing that as much anymore. And we're finding that's become more difficult as we get older with our vision and also our hands. Things are getting a little more difficult to work. That tiny little intricate work. Just part of the nature of aging, I guess. It has been weeks and I have had this awful cough off and on. Look at this. Diamonds just out of, see that? Just laying on my canvas. Those go over in my extra tray because I have no idea to know where the heck they even came from. Just laying on my canvas. It'd be great if I could finish at least this one color before it's time to go. We'll see. Somebody asked in one of the groups, how many paintings do you finish in a year? Or how long does it take you to finish a painting? It's like, well, that just depends. You know, are they round? Are they square? How many colors do they have? Are they confetti? Are they color blocking? Are the patterns good? Like this one, these symbols are so nice and crisp and clear and easy to read compared to, I have had some that, you know, you almost have to stand on your head to figure out what it is, and then it's your best guess. Patterns like that are going to take a lot longer. Or compared to the nativity painting I did that was on a blank canvas, and you're going back and forth and having to count like a counted cross stitch. That's definitely going to take a lot longer with 200 and some odd colors as compared to a painting that's got 10 colors. You know, a square painting takes longer than a circular painting. Somebody who is more meticulous about getting their squares and circles all lined up very straight, that's going to take a lot longer than somebody who does like I do and just pops them on there. It's a big difference based on how much time do you have. You know, there's times that I'll get to paint 3-4 nights in a row, but then I won't get to touch it for several weeks. So it just truly depends. I would hope to be able to finish one a month as we go into next year, but we'll see. I definitely want to finish the 5-panel is my next one I want to finish. And I definitely want to get most of the tiny little owls. I have a series of, I think I have like 10 left that are, they're just 20 by 25 little baby circular owls that go around my door frame. I want to get those finished so they can all get up, and just to get them off my plate. I'd like to get those finished this year. And then I have, I think, 4 more special shape owls that go in my front room in Owl Hall. I really would like to get those done this year, just to get them out from under my couch. You know, lately, all of my purchases are from Diamond Art Club. Anything since, probably, I would say all of 2022 and probably towards the end of 2021 even. All of my purchases are from Diamond Art Club. But I still have some from before that are under my couch. All of my Diamond Art Clubs are still in their box, and most of them are sealed in their box. All of my non-Diamond Art Club, with a few exceptions, but all of the non-Diamond Art Club are out of the box and they are flat under my couch. So I'd like to get working on some of those just to get them out from under my couch. So something else for discussion for you to think about and let me know in the comments your thoughts. My Diamond Art Club stash, I have left all of them in the boxes just because my thoughts are, as a buyer, if I ever have to resell them, as a buyer, I only want to buy packages that are brand new in the box. However, there's been a lot of talk lately that you're better off to open them and make sure you have the right canvas, because if you resell and it's the wrong canvas, if it's an out-of-stock painting, DAC can't replace it, and then, you know, your buyer's out of luck, and so are you as the reseller, because DAC can't help you other than they can give you your money back. So I was talking to Sean about the possibility of here and there even doing some unboxings on camera. And I didn't know if anybody would want to see those. And again, even though, does that decrease the value of my paintings? Because I certainly don't want to do that. While, you know, my plan today is that I plan to work every one of them. But if something were to happen to me that I was not able to and Caitlin had to resell them all, I certainly would want her to get the most value out of them that she could. So let me know what you think. You know, is that something, would you be interested in seeing unboxings, and does that decrease the value of them? All right, we're going to R. R is 5:03. We have about 10 more minutes is all. So, you know, I don't want to make them not worth as much, but at the same time, they do have the dust covers and such, and I kind of get that DAC can fix it if you're sent the wrong painting while it's still in print, but yet so many of them anymore are limited edition anyway, and, you know, they can't help you anyway, because by the time you buy a limited edition and it's out of stock, and out of print, it's too bad, so sad. Which, you know, they're a big company and doing the best they can with probably hundreds of thousands of customers. Nobody knows for sure other than them how many they have. But I do have several of their paintings because, like I said, everything since 2021 is all Diamond Art Club. Now, I'm very selective. I don't just purchase willy-nilly from Diamond Art Club. I only purchase Draglings. However, I own all of them. And I purchase hummingbirds and butterflies and panda bears. However, the panda bears have to be real panda bears. Caitlin doesn't like the cartoony, fakey looking panda bears. They have to be like this one is a real one. So I only purchase the real ones. And owls. Duh. I forgot that one. Owl Hall has owls. But that's really it. Other than that, they have many, many, many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful paintings. But if it doesn't fit those collections, now obviously I will never have enough room in my house to put them all up. So I will be going the portfolio route, I'm sure. I thought about, for the Draglings, doing like they have in Walmart or Target, like a poster hanger that you can flip and shows all the posters and such. I thought about that. We'll see when it's time. I also do have, I have not bought any of the canvases or the beads, but I have several cross-stitch patterns that I intend to do on blank canvases that are intended for, we have like a 20-foot long hallway between our bedrooms and going down to our bathroom, that I have canvases planned for that long hallway. that all of those are mostly planned to be blank canvases. And so for those two, you know, again, I have a plan for them. I have not purchased anything yet because I own so many others. And who knows, maybe I'll decide to do something else and put one that I purchased from VAC up in that space instead. But I hate to do that when other things were bought on purpose. And then I have a few customs from Evermoment. I have, I think 3 timepiece / clock / maps. Just because that collection really kind of goes together. And they'll go down the end of my hallway, and that goes with the maps then that I want to do in the blank canvases. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. It'll be a while till I get to those. All of the owls and such come first. So I'm working on S's. 992 are S's. Trying to get as many dotted on as I can before we have to go. And that one is not where he needs to be. He's in the middle of the 2s is how I knew that. It's not that color. I think sometimes as many as I find where they shouldn't be, that I'm so fortunate I don't run out of more colors. And I'm so blessed that Diamond Art Club replaces them if I need them to. Okay, well, I think that is a good place for me to stop since I'm down to less than 5 minutes till I have to go and get ready. And pull this one off and pull my plastic back down just to keep my cat hair out of it. Hope that you have a really good night. Again, Caitlin and I will be leaving soon, and we get home tonight probably about 10:15. And then tomorrow we have to leave again. We have a CAP event tomorrow, so we'll be pretty busy for most of the weekend. If I don't talk to you before then, have a very Merry Christmas. And for those of you that are going to be celebrating Hanukkah starting on Sunday, we wish you and your family a very happy Hanukkah. Talk to you next time. Bye.